What is going on, everybody? Luke here. In today's short video, we're going to be talking over the way that I usually like to track and predict when the sales of Q4 will start to ramp up. Now, I use business reports in Amazon, and the place to find that is to go to reports and then down to business reports, which will populate you into it will actually take you to the dashboard up here. But I use detailed page sales and traffic, and I've done this last year, so there's actually a previous video that I've done last year, and it will go through what I did last year for using the previous year's Q4 data, and obviously this year I'm going to use last year, so you'll be able to track if there's any slight changes compared to the previous Q4, because obviously last year was a bit of a different Q4, different year because of COVID and everything. So it may be that we need to reflect and review actually 2 years ago, or both, just to get an average. Obviously the more that you use, the more better evaluation you can give yourself for when things are gonna go crazy. Now, what do I do? What do I look at? So I've basically selected the 1st of October 2020 all the way to the end of November, end of December. What am I talking about? End of December. And now don't ask me what this thing is. This line looks like nothing's happening, but it's because I've got this really random like day here where apparently there was like 389,000 page views, and you can see its page views is pretty consistent, around here. So it looks really quite linear. It looks like there's not much change going on here, but it's just because they've got this weird thing, so it's skewing all the data. But you can see it a little bit better down here. So what we're looking for, what am I looking for, and how do I predict maybe the time of year? And obviously this will be specific to your current product range. So if you were selling just advent calendars and you had 20,000 advent calendars, of course people are going to start buying them a lot earlier than what they would be buying general Christmas stuff for, and therefore you would have to take that into consideration. Or if you're slightly more weighted in certain areas, you might have to, but we're talking about general kind of Christmas stuff. Even toys and stuff will still be applicable for this. Anything that people will be buying for either gifts to use around that Christmas period, maybe New Year's, that kind of thing. It's all going to be playing the same role in me analyzing this, so it should be similar to for you. And you can go ahead and look, it doesn't matter how much data you've got potentially for last year, you can always just go and look at your results and build a picture from that. So what am I looking for? Well, you can see here, really simple, I've got basically product sales. So this is me selling, how much sales I've actually done for each day. Okay, really simple. Or no problem. And then you've got page views and then sessions. So page views is obviously the number of pages that are getting viewed relating to this. Sessions is very similar. You can see the number of sessions is this. So people probably went on and then they went on it again a couple more times. So they either don't buy there and then, they come back to it later. But really, I'm just going to use page views for this example. I think I've used sessions before, but what we want to do is we want to build up a picture. Page views is how many times people obviously go onto it, and sessions is going to be if someone goes onto it twice, obviously it's going to show up here, but it won't show up here. You can use either. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and look at the page views and look at the sales. So 1st of October, we're looking, and there's not really any noticeable crazy gains. My sales fluctuates, but fluctuates a bit. It's not crazy, is it? Fluctuates within, 1.5 to 2.5 maybe, or 2,600. But yes, the page views is slowly going up, 6, 5, 5, 7, 5, but there's still 5s in there, 7. It's slowly ticking up a little bit, but as I'm progressing through October, I'm also sending more stock in. So that's got something, you have to evaluate yourself, when do you start buying for Q4, and only you can decide that. So then we want to go and slowly progress down and see, look, even down at the 21st of the 10th, there's no noticeable session changes. The sales pretty much the same, yeah? And then we tick down, we're going towards the end of October here. This is like payday, time, the 25th of the month, the last working day. You can see here, my sales went, even though it was just one day, it ticked up. Okay, so you can see it's now kind of going 2.5, 3, and it's sort of ticking up rather than being 1.5. It's nothing noticeably crazy, but it's ticking up. But then what you also see is the sessions will go up, but the page views will also increase. You can see, and you can see here, there was 12,000 page views, but obviously my sales wasn't like 4.5 grand. So there is not 100% correlation. It's just an overview, a rough guide. The more page views you have, the more sales you should do. But again, really it's to do with averages, and then we're going to carry on. So obviously that was a bit of a blip, but the sales didn't reflect that. So that means people, the way I see that as well is people are also looking around this date for potential products that they want to buy, Christmas stuff, but they're maybe not buying it yet. Like a lot of people go and check what they want to potentially buy, but they won't buy it right then. Maybe they go, okay, yeah, I'm going to get that for John and that for Harry, and then I'm going to buy it, on like whatever day. Maybe it's the 31st, you get paid or something, I don't know. And so when I see an uptick in this, it doesn't necessarily have a direct correlation to the sales upticking. Yes, there will be days. But there won't be a crazy noticeable change. Yes, there'll be an increase because people might just buy there and then, but they might also wait. But as this increases, the sales may not directly increase, but you can see here, so around here it starts to tick up. Yeah, it goes down to 8, then 12, then 9 again. You can see my sales have increased, but not crazy. But then you notice a little bit after, the little delay, the sales increase, and then obviously the sessions are now above 10,000 every time. We're below here, they're all below. And yes, I was obviously sending in more stock for Q4, but I already had a ton of stock already because I prepare in September. And then you can see, you know, it's holding steady around the 10, 11, and the sales is then ticking through. So you've got a slight delay in the page views increasing to the actual sales. Again, you can't really act in that on that information because a couple of days isn't enough to buy stock and get it into Amazon to then be ready for that burst of Q4 madness where it starts. But you can get like mentally ready and you can go, right, okay, I've got all my stock there, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doubling down a little bit more or really kind of focusing in because I now know it's just about to burst. That kind of like craziness is just about to go and everything's just going to go mental. So we're seeing it increase. We're seeing it increase. A couple more sessions, you know, go, but it's nothing crazy. We're in November here. You know, yeah, my sales even dropped down to 3,000, and then we're going down, and you can see it's slowly creeping up. It's not, you know, it's not far. It's not crazy far. You don't suddenly go from 10 to 50,000, but as you see that, it's now holding around 4, 5, going down. This increases. Yeah, we drop. It's slowly ticking up. Oh, I had an 8 grand day there. 6,000. We're ticking into, this is now December. We're ticking up. Ignore that. That's the one I said to you about, which is weird. So we're just going to ignore that one. But 16, 18, 19. Okay, here we go. 10,000, 11,000. So even though the page views are not like crazily jumping up, you know, I had a 10 grand day here. So it's like, the page views is a slightly lagging indicator. Sorry, the orders are slightly lagging to the page views. And then we jump up. And then we can see here, even though that these numbers are, yes, they're a little bit higher than say 16,000, you know, 18, 19,000, but now the sales are really starting to ramp up with the same number of page views as up here because people are now starting to actually spend the money. And then obviously we go in and my best period was here, you can see. So, you know, and then what you can do as well is you can go, okay, you know, that's, so in theory I can go, okay, how many page views have I got in November this year? And I can use this as a rough correlator to go, okay, you know, 17,000 around the middle of December, whatever will be that. And obviously you can see here, sales go all the way up to about £20,400 in one day with only 15,000 page views. And so the money is really getting spent and the page views is then not increasing. So where obviously the page views up here are higher or the same, people aren't yet spending the money. So they're, you know, as this goes up, people are getting ready to spend the money is the way that I see it. We come down and then you can see here pretty much the last good day. For many people that would be still good, but the last, you know, like amount that's actually going up is the 21st, and then you can see the 22nd still had decent page views but slightly drop off, and then the 23rd and then so on, and then you can see the page views massively decreases from the 24th. And so I can see, and actually I did, you know, it actually went up a little bit there, but you can get a rough idea. Obviously overall that made me 515,000 of revenue, and then my page views, but that obviously has that weird one in, so we're not going to include that. But what you can do here is you can use these two figures to roughly give you a momentum gauge of how things are going and give you that couple of days like insight into when things start to ramp up a little bit. Back here, and of course at this point you already want to be going all in with Amazon anyway, so there's not so much of a problem on that side of things because you already be sort of like playing the game at that point. You won't be waiting for this, but it's just a momentum indicator for you to know, okay, let's keep ramping it, let's keep pushing. If you notice this to drop off for any reason, maybe you're making, you know, maybe there's something you need to learn from next year, you know, following year 2022, because you might realize, oh, you know, I didn't buy enough here, and you can basically use this as a really nice way of predicting with a little bit of, you know, accuracy what the potential would be and when things are going to start getting crazy. So just roughly, as soon as I notice page views ticking up here, yeah, there isn't a noticeable craziness here, but I can start buying, you know, as this jumps above 10, for example, to 13, within a couple of days, it's already up 5 grand. I can start just going crazy basically, and that is just a couple of days extra that I can prepare in advance. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there, everyone. So hopefully you used it, you liked it, and you can go ahead and implement this in some way for your own business for this year. So yeah, see you on the next one, guys. Bye.